Hi everyone, Mrs. Jockle here. I thought I would hop on real quick and do a short video teaching how to write a letter, or I should say reviewing how to write a letter because we've written letters many times already this year. So your assignment this week is to write a letter to a family member or a friend, and you can send that letter to someone if you would like. If you want to write a letter to me, I would be more than happy to give you my mailing address. Just have mom or dad or someone email or send me a message and I can give you that information. All right, so we have seen this slide before going over the parts of a letter. There are 5 parts of a letter to remember. We've got the heading, greeting, body, closing, and signature. So the first part, the heading, refers to the date. So today's date was March 30th, 2020. Tomorrow will be March 31st, 2020. And then Wednesday starts the 1st of April. Remember, boys and girls, where the heading goes. When we are writing a letter, we put the heading in the top right-hand corner of our paper. And you'll see that when I get to my example letter. Another thing to remember that is really important when doing a letter and writing the heading is this comma. We need to make sure we put a comma after the day to separate the day from the year. We don't want too many numbers to get jumbled together. Then that takes us to our greeting. The greeting just simply means how you're saying hello to the person. Like when you answer the telephone, you say hi or hello or can I ask who's calling? But in a letter, we want to greet the person we are writing to. So we start with a capital D. We want to capitalize the beginning. If we're starting with dear, you might just start with hello, but usually we start with dear. Capitalize it, put the person's name, and you also want to capitalize their name because they're a proper noun. It's a specific person you're writing to. And then after the greeting, we would put our comma. And our greeting, when we write our letter, is going to go on the next line underneath the heading, and it's going to be over on the left-hand side of our paper. All right, after the greeting, we move into the major part of our letter, which is called the body. The body contains the message of our letter. And here's an example body for a letter. This person said, "I'm so happy you came to my birthday party yesterday. I hope you had fun. My favorite part was when we ate the cake. What was your favorite part?" So in the body, you can see you would want to have, between probably, 4 to 5 sentences to make a good, strong message, to send a good, strong message to your person that you're writing to. And one thing that is very important, and it's already highlighted down here, but remember to indent. Remember to indent. So you can see right here, they indented the first word of each of their paragraphs. So you want to push your writing in, indent each time you're starting a new paragraph. Then, after you have written everything you want to say to that person, we would have the closing. The closing is how you're saying goodbye. Some example closings are your friend or sincerely. You could say, if you're writing a thank you letter, you could say thanks again. Okay, so there's that one. If you're going to write back and forth to someone, you might say talk to you soon. So those are some example closings. One thing to remember is you capitalize the first letter of the first word, and you always need to put a comma after your closing. Just like we put a comma after our heading, our greeting, after our greeting, after we said hello to the person, we need to put a comma after we say goodbye. And then finally, to wrap up our letter, we would want to do our signature, which is the author of the letter. So that's your name. So you would go to the next line underneath your closing, and you would sign your name. If you know how to write your full name in cursive, I know we've been practicing some cursive letters, you could certainly write it in cursive. So here is an example letter that I wrote for you, boys and girls. My heading starts off, you can see at the top here, my heading is March 30th, 2020. Notice my comma, capitalizing March. For the greeting, I came down to the next line and I moved over to the left and I said, "Dear students." I capitalized dear and students and then put a comma after my greeting. Now I got into the body of the letter. You can see I had a lot I wanted to say, you guys. I indented the first word, and then here's where we just follow correct grammar and punctuation and just sentence structure. We always know we capitalize the beginning of sentences and put punctuation at the end, and our sentences should be complete, telling a complete thought. So here's what I said to you guys. How are you? I am doing well at home, but I miss you all very much. What have you been doing to stay busy? I've been putting together lots of puzzles, cleaning and reorganizing my house, and learning a lot about technology. Have you started any schoolwork yet? I'm here to help if you need anything. I hope to see you all sooner than later. So I indented when I started a new paragraph, and that wrapped up the body of my letter. Then I was ready to close it up. So my closing, I chose sincerely, capitalizing the first letter and a comma after sincerely, and then finally ending it with the signature. Now, since I'm on the computer, I couldn't actually write my name in cursive, so I just typed my name, Mrs. Jockle. So boys and girls, that is how you would go through the steps of writing a friendly letter. I just wanted to give a little bonus lesson here. If you do want to mail this letter to someone, you would put, let's pretend like this is my envelope. So let me draw out an envelope here. Okay, usually envelopes are pretty rectangular. So if you had an envelope, you would need to put your address in the top left corner. Okay, if I could spell it correctly, that would help. So you would you need mom or dad to help you, but you would put your name and then your street, your house number and your street, and then Mercer or whatever your city, and zip code is. So your address would go in that top left corner, and then whoever you are mailing the letter to, that would go kind of in the middle of the envelope. So let's just say you wanted to mail your letter to me. You would put Mrs. Jockle. I guess this would be a good place I could put my address in case you wanted to send me a letter. Home Avenue, Butler, PA 16001. Now I'm just going to get rid of all the gaps there real quick. Okay, so then you would put the person's address who you would want to mail the letter to in the center of the envelope, using everything we've learned about addressing a label, capitalizing the person's name, capitalizing their street name. Mine is Home Avenue because those are proper nouns, a specific place where I live. Butler is the city. PA is the abbreviation for our state, Pennsylvania. You would capitalize the P and the A, and a comma in between the two because you're separating the city from the state. And then, of course, we need the zip code. Now, you can't drop this in the mail yet, boys and girls. You would need a stamp that would go in the top right-hand corner. So you would need to ask mom or dad to get you a stamp that you could put in the top right-hand corner, and that's how you are paying to mail the letter. Okay, so if you have any questions on this, please feel free to reach out, but I hope you have fun writing a letter. And hey, maybe you want to write more than one letter this week and send some letters out to some friends in our class or even to some family members and make sure that they're doing okay too during this time. I think next week we may do a slightly different writing assignment, but you could always write someone a letter. I think everyone enjoys receiving mail. I know I love whenever I get a mail in the card, and my kids do too, especially if it has money in it. Anyways, boys and girls, I hope you are all safe and doing well, and I will check back in tomorrow with another video. Good night.